with Elias Pettersson's 2 points tonight. First was a goal against the Orebro Hockey Club in the Swedish Hockey League. This one, an absolute snipe. Bar down and in with his second point of the night. Another shot from the same point. It gets passed over to a teammate. A slap pass. It's an assist over to Shinniman. This one is an assist. And alongside of that goal that he had earlier today, Elias Pettersson has passed Peter Forsberg's rookie scoring record in the SHL. Pettersson is now second in single rookie point scoring. Yo, he did it! He did it! He passed Forsberg! And he did it in one more game. Granted, Elias Pettersson, before this game against the Orebro Hockey Club today, he was at 39 games played, 48 points, 19 goals, 29 assists. Forsberg, his record set back in 1992-1993, 39 games played as well, 23 goals, 25 assists, 48 total points. So these guys both had the same amount of games played and the same amount of points. And as expected, they both had the same points per game of 1.23. But today, with Elias Pettersson's goal, as well as his assist, he propels up to 50 points in total, 20 goals, 30 assists, 40 games played, and a plus 22 for the 19-year-old forward. If you want to go to points per game, we'll do 50 divided by 40, which is the same as 5 over 4, which gives us 1.25. He increased his points per game in this game. It went from a 1.23 to a 1.25, and now he is the sole leader of second in SHL rookie scoring seasons. The only one that is ahead of him is Kent Nilsson, who in 1975-76 was able to achieve 54 points in 36 games played, for a total of 1.5 points per game, which is a pace that Pettersson probably wouldn't catch, because let's face it, it's already that time of the season where things are kind of becoming in the ballpark now, and we can kind of estimate where things will finish. But the Vaxjo Lakers, they have 4 games left. Elias Pettersson is down on Kent Nilsson by 4 points. Pettersson, he's at 50 points, Nilsson's record, 54. Pettersson, he has 40 games played, and overall the Lakers have 4 more games to go. Pettersson right now is scoring at a 1.25 point per game pace. If he is able to tie the record, maybe even beat it out, then he will have beaten everybody who has gone through this process. He's already beaten Forsberg, Henrik, Daniel ×2, Naslund ×2, Nicholas Backstrom, Thomas Gradin, Hornqvist. He's already beaten all of these guys. He's beaten William Nylander too, so yeah. But it's just crazy. Ah, my goodness. I can't. I'm just sitting here trying to comprehend what to say, because Pettersson has now beaten all of these guys in rookie scoring, in an era where rookie scoring isn't necessarily the strongest, in an era where goals per game is definitely not as high as they were back when the Sedins and Forsberg and Naslund were all playing. The average goals for per team per game back then, it was incredibly high in comparison to what things are now. If you want to take a look at the stats, all the other stats of the other guys are, let's face it, they're a little bit inflated just because of the scoring and how things were back then. Pettersson, I'd argue that his feat is more impressive, considering the fact that this is the best hockey that is being played today. In 2018, this is the best hockey we've ever seen. Pettersson, 19 years old, comes in as a rookie, 50 points in 40 games. He is second in SHL scoring in total. The number 1 guy is 1 point ahead of him with 7 more games. That is Ryan Latch playing for Frölunda. You might know Frölunda because that's Rasmus Dahlin's team. but Elias Pettersson, with 40 games played, 1.25 points per game, is number 2, 50 points. He's 2 points ahead of Joachim Lidstrom, and he's 5 points ahead of Par Lindholm. So the race for the best scorer in the SHL, it's kind of tight, but Elias Pettersson, even though he did miss those games for the World Juniors, he's still in it to win it. The highest points per game out of players with over 6 games played, and if you want to take a look at the overall points, he is second. And I gotta give it to the Lakers. The Lakers are an absolutely stacked team. They got 3 lines that are basically first lines on any other SHL team, and Elias Pettersson has to, well, he's part of the second one. If you want to take a look at what he's going through, though, there was a little bit of a controversy surrounding his play style and his placement, because he was played on the second line's right winger side for the majority of the season, and then later on he got switched to the center, but recently in the past like 2 or 3 games, he actually got converted back to the right wing, and in his most recent games, he's had 2 points each, so that's really good. And if you want to take a look at things in total, Elias Pettersson has an average of 16 minutes and 16 seconds of time on ice per game. That isn't necessarily the top dog, elite forward, number 1 kind of player selection of minutes to be played there. So obviously he's not being given all of the time on the ice in the world because they're not treating him like he's a Sidney Crosby or whatever. They're treating him as a normal player who just happens to have really high levels of skill, and who is, well, he's 19. So, this guy, who is a rookie coming in, 50 points, 40 games played, he's first in the SHL in points per game. He beat out Peter Forsberg. He's got 4 games to go to get 4 points to tie Kent Nilsson's SHL rookie scoring record. He needs 5 points in 4 games to beat that, and 3 Vancouver Canuck legends have already been passed by Pettersson, blown out of the water completely. The Sedin twins and Marcus Naslund. Elias Pettersson in his draft plus 1 year is the most successful Swedish rookie forward. I'm gonna say that because Kent Nilsson, he played in the 70s. Things were bananas back then. Pettersson is the most impressive one here in this selection of players. The most recent player on this list is Nicklas Backstrom in 2006-2007 with 40 points in 45 games. If you want to go even more recent, William Nylander in the year 2014-15 had 20 points in 21 games played. That is not as impressive as an Elias Pettersson. Elias Pettersson with 2 times the games and over 2 times the points. So Yeah. It is beautiful, guys. We got ourselves a really good player coming in to the Vancouver Canucks system, and one can only hope and just visualize what's going to happen when Elias Pettersson plays with Brock Boeser on the power play. Oh my goodness. Just in case you guys actually haven't been paying attention and watching the games and realizing what's been going on, you know how Brock Boeser stays on the left side, and he's just by himself there on the power play. He waits for somebody to pass it to him, then he does a few moves, he might pass it, he might shoot it, or whatever. You know how he does that? He waits for Edler to pass it to him, which, let's face it, Edler never does, but he waits, and once he does get the puck, he does something. Elias Pettersson does the exact same thing, but he's a left-handed shot, so he stays on the right side. But all these highlights, a lot of these highlights follow the same trend. It's Elias Pettersson in that Brock Boeser spot mirrored over the axis, and he's just right there. He's at that OV Brock Boeser spot just flipped over because he's a lefty. And a lot of these goals are just like the goal that he scored today against Orebro. He just winds up and he one-time slap shots it in. It goes in so frequently. And Elias Pettersson, in this season, he's got himself 100 shots. Which, it's actually crazy to see how even his lines are. 40 games played, 20 goals, 30 assists, 50 points, 100 shots. Why the heck are his stats so even? I don't understand. This is crazy. There's no way this is a coincidence. Okay, it's a coincidence, but that's highly unlikely. But it's what happened today, guys. And with this game right here against the Orebro Hockey Club, where he got himself 4 shots and 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in total, he's just totally lighting a fire for himself. And the Vancouver Canucks fan base, I'm fully fully on the train for Elias Pettersson. We didn't want Cody Glass, guys. We didn't want Gabe Velarde. We didn't want any of these guys coming into this year's draft. We wanted a guy who we knew who could make a difference. And at this moment in time, it really looks like that guy is Elias Pettersson. Because if we have ourselves a left-handed Brock Besser who is as good at playmaking as he is as shooting, and if he's able to adjust to the NHL game, man, he's going to be so good. Number 2 in SHL scoring. Number 2 in terms of rookie scoring SHL seasons in the history of the SHL. Number 1 in points per game for players over 6 games. And this guy is a Vancouver Canucks prospect. He was labeled number 1 on TSN's top prospect chart for a reason, and it's just getting better. He's got 4 games left, people, and the fact that he's gotten 4 points in his past 2 games, 2 points in each of those games, it's really hinting towards me that, I don't know, maybe Kent Nilsson is in view. Maybe he is. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Plus, down below, wrestling, gaming, and bye.